of eulogy is your life writing? I was in the room when my father passed away. My mother had said she had seen both of her parents pass away, and she couldn't stay in the room while her husband passed away. My sister, or she would say the girl that I grew up with in the family, since we were not blood related, she did not consider me her brother. So the girl that grew up with me in the same house, she was kind of like a historically speaking, hysterical black woman, at the very end of my dad's life. So I had to get a couple of the deacons to get her out of the room because a screaming woman is not something I think you should take to the next life. So I was the last person in the room. The doctor let me know that the medications that they had stopped was going to facilitate his passing. And it was quite the experience. Since he was someone who was an amazing man and had meant a lot to me, it was one of those moments where I'm glad I was there. I'm glad I'm the last person he saw and interacted with before he passed. My point is, what type of life are you living? What type of eulogy will you be given? Although I wasn't there when my mom passed, she was in hospice. I saw her a few days before. I had to do her eulogy. And I've done public speaking. I do these social media posts, to my 5 followers. And, it's pretty easy to do. I just give you my thoughts right off the top of my head. But I had to summarize what the woman who basically it was her idea to go back and get me. My sister was adopted first. My dad wanted a daughter. My adoptive dad, I consider my God-given dad, wanted a daughter, but my mother wanted a son. So she was told by the adoption agency, hey, when a boy becomes available, you need to get over here. And my father actually was not present when I was adopted. It was my mom and an Army wife, because she had to have another person with her when I was adopted. So I know my mom used to always say, you're my son because I came and got you. I loved it when she said that. Anyway, as you can tell, I was a big old fat mama's boy. And to sum up what my mother meant to me in 15 or 20 minutes of a eulogy, because she had told me, hey, don't speak more than a half hour. Make sure Reverend Edmondson, who did the formal eulogy from a pastor, didn't go over that length of time. In other words, keep it under an hour and feed them is what my mother requested. And that's exactly what we did. So I had about 15 or 20 minutes because there was 10 minutes of other parts of the program. But I had to sum up what this incredible woman meant to me. And I've been told by a number of speakers to never do more than 3 points. So my 3 points was, she changed my life by wanting to adopt me because I just couldn't. I just think my parents were perfect. I couldn't imagine being raised by any other parents. The second thing is, she loved me. I was a big old fat mama's boy because I knew my mother loved me. And after my father passed, she got on me more than once about not visiting her enough because I chose my family over visiting her. We didn't like to go visit Grandma adopted. It just wasn't a pleasant experience. So we didn't see her a lot. And she got on me about that. And rightfully so. She was right to get on me, and I should have visited her more. And that's, one of the things I'll take to the grave as a regret. And the last thing was, she turned me on to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, which has not only changed my life from that point, but has steered my life since then to this point and moving forward. So those are the 3 things that I talked about in the 15 or 20 minutes. What will be the 3 things that are talked about in your eulogy? And it may be more than 3 points. I'm not just limiting your life to 3 bullet points, but if someone just said, hey, Robert, you were a good husband, you were a good father, and you were a good man. In other words, you did very well in your career. You were very passionate about what you did, and you helped a lot of people, and you were active in your community through your coaching and through your volunteerism. If that's all anyone said about me, man, that would be the perfect eulogy. And if it took under 5 minutes, cool. Run a video, feed them, put me wherever you're going to put me, and be done with it. But my point is, I think we need to live like we're writing our eulogy, right? Add more bullet points. If you find that you aren't doing what you want to do, start doing it. You know, I made a big decision when I just got married to continue training or work at a brewery called Anheuser-Busch in Cartersville, where I was a union worker. I would have been long retired by now, but I hated it. I hated working at a brewery. I love training. So I chose something, but I've struggled financially many times because of my choice of training as opposed to being a union employee at a brewery, because those guys, beer sells in good and bad times, so they don't see a recession. So I made a big choice there. And what choices are you making that are changing your life and the lives of your family and friends? You know, and they can be good and bad choices. And I'm not here to counsel you on how to make those choices. The point of this post is to get you to think about that, to think about the fact that, you know, I'm 64. So I'm in the fourth quarter, and that's in a good case scenario. Okay, average life expectancy says I'm only going to live to mid-70s. So I probably have 10 years at best. Okay, so what's that last quarter of my game going to be like? So I want you to start thinking about what's the last quarter or last half or last 3 quarters of my life going to be like? And start making decisions with that in mind. Start writing your eulogy by more accomplishments, helping more people, helping your community. It's just a thought for today, and it takes me 7 minutes to do a thought, but that's okay. I hope it inspires you, and I hope that it gives you pause to make better decisions for yourself, your family, and your community moving forward. Let's do that.